motion capture is so important for video games these days because it is now going into territories that we didn't have access to before. We can now really dig into stories just the way film does, but also give players the chance to make choices during that film, so to say. So it is kind of pioneering a new kind of media, and it's really exciting to be part of.
When I started with Deck 9, we actually did just body capture, and then we had to hand produce all the facial animations, and we had to sync that to the VO that we got all separately. And it is a very tedious process. It's very challenging, and we had to spend a lot more time and resources to all those things.
You don't have animators or anyone else interpreting the actor's intentions. They just do it, and we just capture it, and that's the base of it. That essentially is what goes into the game. The animators take it, they polish it, they make it look amazing. But the core feeling, the core acting is there.
So where motion capture really comes in handy is specifically performance capture, is we can put all that together at once.
Instead of having someone reading, like let's say a script and storyboarding it out and kind of having options of like how we want the character to move and what we want them to say, we just let the actor do it. And then we make that shine.
Our animators still need to clean things up, polish things. Sometimes if there's complicated shots where we don't really get good motion capture data, animation will definitely pick up the slack. But doing the full performance capture just gets us so much further ahead. So the amount of time we're investing at that point, we're finding the pieces that we really love, and we're just putting more attention on that.
Deck 9's motion capture differs from other studios because we focus heavily on things like narrative adventure games. So we're doing a lot of what I call subtle MoCap, walking around, picking things up, but focusing heavily on emotional performance.
We're a little more zoomed in on the performances. So we want to make sure that we get the lip quivers and things like that. And, kind of the hesitation in steps or the faults and things like that we're trying to get to make sure the performance feels real and alive and not just, every other action beat.
We take a lot of time to really connect with our actors to make sure that the emotional weight of what's going on is there and it conveys the story regardless of the technology.
We have a smaller studio inside of our own office. A lot of the other major titles you'll see, they have a third-party giant warehouse for MoCap that they can do, so they can do crazy action sets and everything. But we have a pretty smallish room comparatively, and that we have to do everything, capture everything, and that goes for your really intense cinematic performances, but also any action we have to do.
One of the things that I think makes our motion capture department special is the way that we cast our actors. Often in the industry, it's, you bring in as many people as you can and you have them do just, one take and you get them out the door and you move them through as quickly as possible. And I find it's so disrespectful to actors, and also people aren't the best on take one. How is it possibly that you could know if this is the right actor? If they're stressed, they say one line and they leave. It's awful. So we take our time. The actors that we call back, we bring back for a full hour. I select them very carefully and we bring them in and we work with them for an hour, because after an hour, you know if they're good, if they can think on their feet, if they can contribute to the collaboration required for the kind of games that we make. So I love that we do it differently. It definitely takes us more time, but it is worth the effort.